All right, starting out from a little bit of a different angle today. Kind of wanted to give a full overlay of the property, how it is right now, as well as go into some developments that have occurred here in my outdoor garden. So first of all, I just kind of want to give you an idea of what the property looks like. We're here on a normal residential street in Tucson, Arizona. You can see that a lot of the pre-existing landscape here was very desert friendly. It's rocks on the ground, cacti, things like that in the front yard. I like cacti. I like the prickly pear are great for their, for the fruit and everything. That's one thing I definitely wouldn't want to get rid of. Although I do have to admit, none of the prickly pear varieties that I have on this particular lot produce all that well as far as prickly pears go. However, my neighbor right over there has quite a lot of prickly pear that do really, really well, and he lets me have as much as I want. So that's kind of nice. You can see I've been doing a lot of yard work. I've got a big, huge pile of sticks, branches, clippings, all kinds of stuff over here. If the city doesn't come and pick it up real soon, eventually I'm going to wind up just renting a wood chipper for a day, turning that all into wood chips and use it for mulch and compost and things. So not really sure which would be better for me. I guess I do prefer to reuse things, but you'll notice that the quality of soil that I have here is not great. Even in the areas that have been planted out and made convenient for watering and things like that, it is very dry, clay-like soil. Not a whole lot of nutrients. It's probably fairly salty also. So I have a bit of an uphill battle at this location here, trying to get food crops and things to go in, which is why I did ultimately wind up doing my raised garden bed. But I do want to show you a couple of things that are in the works. First of all, where I had initially tried to plant some rosemary, I forgot to water them for a day while they were seedlings, and they just completely crapped out on me. So what I did here, the supermarket near me was having a little special, $1 each for these little potted rosemaries. So I planted two that were pretty well established already, and I went ahead and put them in this area. This is the southern exposure of my house, so it's going to get quite a lot of sun. Although we do have this overhang here. This is going to be a difficult place for most plants to grow that aren't specifically suited for desert. So rosemary does tend to do pretty well here, so I'm hoping that it continues to do well in that spot. Let's kind of go around the side of the garden here. Okay, so this is my whole little this is the basil, of course, and the eggplant. Eggplant is still doing very, very well, nice and vibrant. Got a lot of nice new growth looking stuff coming on here, and you can see in this one that we've got some flower buds and things starting, which is great. Flowers mean fruit in the near future, so that's a good thing. I'm constantly still having to keep up with this kind of stuff, which I don't really want any of my basil to go to flower, but even after thinning them all out, I still have way too much basil going on here. So I'm not gonna thin it out anymore at the moment, but I'm kind of always out here picking off the little flower buds and things. That is the Brussels sprout, and although it has been chewed up quite a bit, this one is doing significantly better. It's putting out new leaves and things, doing a lot better than the other one that I have, and I'll show you that in a minute. My pepper plants are doing fantastically. Got some really nice big green peppers coming in, which is awesome. You can see the size of this one. It's getting real big. Gotta like that. So I'm very, very happy about that. Same on this plant, that whole bunch. Still got even, you know, new buds coming in here. Yeah, right there. A new little one coming in. And my Pasilla chili is doing fantastically. Last count I had 7 on here now. I'm so happy that this thing's finally started to produce, and it's doing well. And there's another new one coming in right there. So yeah, very, very happy. We're gonna have some awesome chili rellenos off of that. So very much looking forward to that. So let's talk about some new things that are going on here. First of all, you'll notice I have my fence back up again. And I'll kind of go over why that is. Not really to keep people out. I'm hoping it'll keep some vermin out. Excuse me. Looks like I've had some rabbit damage happen in the last 2 days. At least I'm thinking it's rabbits. I mean, it's something that's eating a lot more than caterpillars ever could. So I'm hoping that this blockade here will help to keep the rabbits out. We do have quite a few rabbits in the neighborhood. So, and they hadn't found my stash until today, so, or, you know, yesterday. So, anyway, hopefully that goes as planned here. I did go ahead and replant my moringas. This one is not looking nearly as hot as the other one, although I'm told that that is, you know, normal for a moringa, that they really don't like being transplanted. That being said, I kept this mostly natural soil because the soil here is exactly what it likes to grow in, which is, you know, sandy, you know, clay-like, that kind of stuff. But I did mix it with a bit of better potting soil, so it's, you know, it still doesn't drain super fast or anything like that. I'm only watering these maybe once a week even at this point, but it does, it gives it a little bit more nutrients as well. This one you can see is doing a lot better, and we've got some new growth shooting off of it here. It's a lot less droopy, and, you know, and awful looking. And then I had tried to uncover my passion fruit plants, and they were doing just fine. For a passion fruit plant, I should say, it was doing just fine in the full sun for several days, and then we had a bit of a heat spell, and some of the lower leaves started to not do so hot. So I went ahead and put my shade back on it again now. And the top leaves still look okay. So, you know, I'm just hoping that we get some new growth, and everything goes fine with that. With that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look here at what's going on in the garden over here. So I'm also hoping that since I have this here now, I can leave the dogs in. Leave the dogs able to get into this part of the yard, which I'm hoping will also scare off any vermin that might come along. Hi guys. Because they're good pooches and they like to chase things. So we'll see. But I'll show you some of the damage that's happened here. First of all, I did find a caterpillar in my romaine here, in my best bunch, of course. So, you know, it chewed all of this stuff up, which is just unfortunate, but it'll grow back. You know, that's the nice thing about lettuce, is it does grow back. Now the first victim of this, you know, rabbit or whatever it is, was one of my mustard greens. Just got chewed to hell. Yeah, I mean, again, it'll come back, but it's very unfortunate. I've got some seeds coming in, hopefully today or tomorrow at the latest, for some long beans. So I put in some kind of rudimentary trellising here to be able to have those grow up that. And then, so this tomato plant is actually doing okay. It's small. It's not producing a whole lot of new growth. It does have a couple of flower buds, but it is healthy. You know, it's still got good color and everything up at the top at very least. And I have a feeling it's going to start as soon as it cools down just a little bit from where it's at right now. I have a feeling it's going to do just fine. This one was already not doing so great, and now it also got attacked by, you know, whatever came in and ate my garden. So I don't know. I mean, it does have a couple of little flowers at the top, but that could just be a stress thing too. We'll see if when it cools down, if it starts producing more better growth. I mean, I do see that it's got some new growth nodes right here. We'll see if that pans out. That's the other Brussels sprout. You can see it's not doing that hot. Part of that is that it also got eaten a little bit. Part of that is that it has been yellowing a bit from the heat and not having enough shade. So this one may or may not make it. We'll see. The biggest disaster of this rabbit coming into my yard is that my little Mizuna plant, which was doing really, really well, got completely eaten. There is some new growth coming in the bottom here, so I'm hoping it'll come back. You know, I'm pretty sure it will, as with most other leafy greens. But the big success story, I guess, is this plant, although it did get munched on a little bit by this rabbit or whatever it is there. You know, it is still overall doing very, very well. Got lots of little flower buds and things. We've got some tomatoes coming in right here. This is the yellow tomato variety, and now we've got some more new tomatoes coming in right here too. So these are all doing very, very well. Or that one's doing very, very well, I should say. So very exciting for me. For the tomatoes, for the leafy greens are overall doing pretty well. The rabbit apparently doesn't like romaine or kale, so just my mustard greens, which of course is like the one thing that wasn't being affected by any insects. So, you know, something else had to come in to destroy that, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I mean, if anybody else out there has any suggestions for natural, harm-free ways of keeping rabbits out of the garden, other than putting up, you know, better fencing and things, I'm definitely all ears on that. But I guess we could talk about this stuff a little bit here too. So these are the pomegranates, of course. They are still green, although they are heavy, which is nice. You know, I'm really hoping. I mean, they're starting to turn red a bit, so I mean, I don't think they're going to get much bigger than this. So I don't know. I mean, I really have no idea what to do about this pomegranate tree. It just does not seem to produce the kind of pomegranates I want to have. And quite frankly, if this doesn't pan out, you know, I might give it one more year, maybe. I mean, you can see here in this one that opened, we've got a little red fruit in there. So I don't know. I mean, let me maybe try one here, see if it's actually sweet and good. Yeah, I mean, it tastes good. Not the best pomegranate flavor I've ever had, but taste isn't bad. But yeah, I mean, they're just tiny. It just doesn't produce very well, so I don't know. Some varietals only ripen in November, so I'm going to wait and see what happens with that. Hopefully this is one of those, and it's got, you know, really small but amazing tasting fruit or something. I don't know. We'll see with these varietals. So that's kind of interesting. Looks like my dogs have been doing some digging around here. Anyway, lemon tree is doing well, except for the fact that you know, again, we've had these caterpillar problems going on. But the new growth and things like that, I come out here and I check on them, and anytime I see a caterpillar, I'm knocking it off the damn thing and trying to get them away, but we'll see what happens with that. And this is the tangerine tree, which is, I believe, about 50 years old. This tree is, so but it's still doing well. You know, after I cut all the dead leaves and branches off of it, it is recuperating very nicely. And who knows, we might see some fruit next year or the year following. That'd be a real treat. I would love to get some tangerines. And then this whole area of the yard, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I think I'm going to wind up planting one of my sapotes out here once they get large enough. You know, they need a little bit of this shade from this tree here. Would be very good. I might wind up putting it, you know, like actually where this little marker is here, because we've got this big huge orange tree right here. We've got this mesquite, and I don't know what the hell kind of tree this is, but it's big and it helps shade things a bit. So, you know, it would really only have, you know, a very small amount of light coming in through the majority of the day, so that might be a good thing. Yeah, I mean, I've got all kinds of plans as to what to do out here, but haven't quite gotten everything together yet. I've got another couple of things arriving in the next day or two, which should be really exciting things. So I'll make sure that I update everyone on that when it happens. We'll do like a little unboxing or something. But in the meantime, you know, I do want to thank you for tuning in. To my one subscriber at this time, you know, thank you for watching. I hope you still find this stuff interesting. And if anybody has any questions or comments, please, you know, feel free to leave it in the information below. And you know, again, thanks for tuning in. You know, happy gardening.